Geek out! LaserDicks, you sexy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Hey, and welcome to another exciting episode of LaserDicks. I'm Chris.
And I'm Ken.
And today we're talking about some junk that we just bought at our local record shop, Record Tape Exchange, or RTX Records. Ooh, you've heard us talk about it before because it's, other than eBay, it's pretty much the only place we get LaserDiscs.
And you get them for like great prices. Like
Yeah.
a lot of these titles are like $3.
Yeah. For the most part, I don't spend more than $5 per movie.
Mm-hmm.
Today was the exception because, and it's going to be the first one I talk about, I got this little ditty called The Red Shoes. Now, this is a movie... the movie I didn't actually know about, but I know the short story, or maybe it's not even a short, it might be a long story, but I know a short story inspired by the story of The Red Shoes, where a ballerina, or maybe she's in the story, it's been like 20 years, but a
I
girl...
expect you to have a photogenic memory. Photogenic?
Photogenic.
I can
My
talk
memory,
good.
My memory takes really good pictures. It looks really good in every picture that is taken of it. But so this girl puts on these red ballet shoes and starts dancing because the shoes are dancing. They're enchanted somehow, and she can't stop dancing. And she dances for like days and days and days, if I remember correctly. So much so that like her mother, whose health is failing her, dies because she can't tend to her because she's so busy dancing. And that's all I remember from the story. Apparently, the movie is about very similar to Black Swan. In fact, it's basically a movie that inspired the story of Black Swan because it's about a ballet and the production of that ballet and the darker side of what goes on behind the scenes. It's a very long movie. It's split on all 6 sides of these 3 discs that are in here.
Oh, crap. Really?
Yeah. I believe it's CAV quality, so it's not like, 6 hours long or something like that.
Right.
But so it's a Criterion Collection too, so it's probably very pretty. I was reading up on the back here while I was waiting for you. They did pull. Oh, it says right there, CAV, full format.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice.
It's actually it's only 134 minutes, so it's not a very long movie. It's just a little bit over 2 hours. Okay. But yeah, so they took, in true Criterion fashion, they took they did a digital transfer straight from the 35 millimeter print that it was shot on, or the negative that it was shot with. So this production is from 1948.
Wow.
This adaptation, or not adaptation, this conversion of it, the Laserdisc printing is from 1994.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like almost the 50th anniversary of the release of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's got some cool stuff. In true Criterion fashion, it opens up. It's got a bifold here, and it's got a huge, long write-up about the production and how, like I was reading, I skimmed through pretty much this entire thing. When it was made, the people that were helping back it considered it a huge failure before it was even released, I believe, because they were like, it's too self-indulgent because of how, basically how much it focuses on like the dance sequences and stuff like that. They're like, it's totally not marketable, blah, blah, blah. And to be fair, I don't think it was a huge commercial success. But then again, I don't remember seeing anywhere where it talked about the commercial success or failure of the movie. But
well, it's not like they're going to advertise that.
Yeah, it was terrible. No one.
Why are
liked
you
it.
buying this?
But over the years, it was lauded and applauded for its strides in production and quality and stuff like that. And like I said, not just Black Swan, but a slew of other movies have used it as inspiration. I think they came up with new ways of shooting video while they were doing it.
Oh wow.
You'd probably love it with your side of like loving musical theater and stuff like that. Although even though it's a ballet, so it's not a whole lot of like singing and stuff like that.
Well, there's the production aspect
Yeah.
that I kind of like there. Yeah.
Exactly. And then another interesting thing of note, we got 3 audio tracks here. The digital track, which is the feature film soundtrack. Then audio track 1 is audio commentary by, I'm going to read the list here, Ian Christie, with Marius Goring, Moira Shearer, Jack Cardiff, Brian Easdale, and Martin Scorsese.
Oh.
And I believe they're just people talking about the movie, not necessarily like, oh, we were part of the production, because Martin Scorsese wasn't making movies in 1948. But I think it's just people talking about how influential it was and stuff like that. And then analog track 2 is Jeremy Irons reading excerpts from the novelization by Powell and Pressburger.
Well, that's a cool idea, especially for like the hearing impaired. Or or no, I guess
visually
not visually impaired.
Yeah, and I think that would be a cool thing for more things to do that are based on literature and stuff.
Oh
like that.
yeah,
It'd be pretty cool. Apparently Martin Scorsese has a huge collection of the Red Shoe memorabilia. Nice.
see, but then though with that kind of audio track, then you'll get scenes like where they're just standing there looking pissed, and then like they were seething with rage.
Yeah, and then there's also like a collection of rare publicity and behind-the-scenes production stills, the animated film The Red Shoes sketches, and the theatrical trailer. I think the animated film The Red Shoe sketches is what I've seen. And then filmography with fun clips and stills.
Oh, how are they fun?
I don't know. But yeah, so
So that
do
was
we want to?
Well, that was the. Oh yeah, we can alternate.
Let's go back and forth.
Go back and forth.
I'm tired of it being one half Chris, one half Ken. Let's mix it up a bit.
So that was the crowning thing that you got. Then.
Yes.
All right, sweet. So let's see here. Well, then I'll do the crowning thing that I got.
All right.
I did not actually get this at RTX, unfortunately. Heaven forbid. But
we are not sponsored by RTX yet.
We should totally go up at the same time to talk to that guy. It's like, hey, we're your only 2 customers for LaserDiscs. Do you want to sponsor us? We'll buy it all the time.
You know, when I went and I mentioned that you were, I was like, oh yeah, my friend and I come here all the time to buy LaserDisc. I think he knew exactly who I was talking about.
Exactly. No, and he mentioned that you talked to him. He's just like, I was expecting you. Like, oh, okay. I'm just here. It's like, yeah, because they only get. He was saying like maybe once every other month, like they get new stuff.
Yeah, and he doesn't. He told me like he's like I never buy LaserDiscs from people. This is just things that are dropped off because I'm like. Because I think because we're the only 2 that'll sell it or that he'll be able to sell to.
Exactly.
So he's like, I can't make any money off it, so I don't ever offer to pay for LaserDiscs that people drop off. So literally, these are just ones that people are trying to get rid of.
Well, these are still great titles, though.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But nobody owns a LaserDisc player anymore,
except for these guys. Whoa.
These nerds.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of nerds, I have in my hand probably the nerdiest object I will ever own. Basically, so the only LaserDisc that I actually purchased via eBay this month was an Evangelion orchestral kind of presentation. I don't know what you call it. Like basically, they got an orchestra together, the Tokyo Orchestra, to play all these different tracks from Evangelion. Just have a night, go through all the different tracks.
They kind of do that every once in a while at Wolf Trap. They'll do like songs from Lord of the Rings and stuff like that.
Exactly. But this one specifically, they worked with the original composer. They got some voice actresses involved from the show, and they just made a big event of it, and they filmed it, and they put it on LaserDisc. And this is probably one of the rarest Evangelion discs, because you can find all the animated stuff on YouTube, or not YouTube, but eBay pretty easily. Yeah. You can get the collection. Expensive, because they're shipping from Japan. But you can still find them. Like this, I randomly saw it pop up, and I got it for about $40. Like, I remember just seeing somebody ripped it one time and put it on a forum, and then everyone was excited. They're like, we haven't seen this before. So I was glad to find it. It's literally... Like it's so blank. Like it wasn't designed for like a big commercial release, I don't think. But it's a white case, a white sleeve with just text. There's no pictures. There's just text. The big old front.
Covered in kanji, is it?
Yeah, kanji. Yeah. Well, Japanese script in general, because the main titles are going to be in kanji, but then like Evangelion's not. It's written in the foreign phonetics, so it's all you can sound it out. But they got just the tracks on the front, and they got a write up on the back saying here's where we got the music from. All these different Evangelion movies that came out, and I've watched it. This is like it's a really nerdy, fun thing to get into because I like Evangelion, and I like the music. And this has a lot. While I can't understand a chunk of it, it has a lot of interviews with the voice actors, interviews with the composer, with the conductor that was there that evening, and it's a really fun celebration of the music, and I really enjoyed it. And I think I might watch the side B. I watched the side A the other day, but it's great.
Yeah,
it's very pretty. Because I mean, Evangelion has great music, and I actually picked up this release this evening on CD form and liked it. And watching it is great. Just reminds me of the time I was in Japlays in band doing percussion and everything like that. So that's my crowning jewel there. What do you got over there?
All right, so the next one I have, so a lot of these movies, I will preface right now, I have not seen. But for whatever reason, I was like, I'd like to own that. Or it's about time I have seen that, so buying it will light that fire under my tuchus.
Especially buying it in a format that's hard to use.
Yes. Yeah. I have to flip sides.
Oh, jeez. At least I don't have to rewind.
But so I got the Chevy Chase classic, Fletch. Never seen it. Heard a lot about it. Or at least heard that it's quite funny. So in this movie, Chevy Chase plays the titular character, Fletch, who is an investigative reporter who goes undercover all the time, which is why on the cover here you see him holding his ID badge, which flips out, and there's 5 different badges. One's his press pass. Then in the next one, he's a hockey player, basketball player with a giant afro, a doctor, and then a holistic healer where he's got a big old bushy beard.
A great big bushy beard.
And he's bald.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, you can't really go wrong with 80s Chevy Chase. It'll probably be funny. Plenty of laughs. It's only 1 disc long, so it's CLV. And it's
a comedy. They're probably just going to do it.
Yeah, and it doesn't say anything about the black bars on the top and bottom are supposed to be there, so I assume it's full frame.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Yeah. But it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
He's making a good face in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't wait to watch it because it'll probably be funny.
Let's see. Did I have a Chevy Chase that I could pair up with?
I don't think you do.
No. But I do have another comedian.
That'll probably work. Pair well.
Yeah.
That wine will pair well with my cheese.
So he's not Chevy Chase, but he is another comedian that has white hair.
In my opinion, funnier. But
we're about to have
take that, Chevy Chase.
Take it to the bank.
The blood bank.
These jokes hurt. All right. So what I've got here is a Ron Howard film, Parenthood. So I had gone to RTX with my girlfriend Maddie, and she pointed this out. I was like, hey, I heard this was pretty good. And I looked at it, and I mean, I don't normally pick up I'm blanking on this wonderful man's name.
Steve Martin.
Yeah, his name's Steve Martin. So Steve
should be on the cover.
It's in small
it is.
font. Fine. Yes, it's right there. Center, small font at the top. Okay, but what caught my eye is that supporting cast-wise, they also have Keanu Reeves and Rick Moranis. And I love Rick Moranis, and I love Keanu Reeves. So we're going to check this out sometime. But it looks like a fun comedy. Big full family together. You got Rick Moranis in the back there. So it just seems like a fun time.
Yeah. It's been quite some time since I've seen it, but I remember it being quite funny.
Okay. I mean, you got Steve Martin there on the background with his cowboy hat and little squirt guns there. So, nothing too special otherwise on this though. It's 2 discs though. That's interesting.
Is it?
It says it's an extended play, PG-13. Oh my!
Ooh.
Is there naughty language on here? 2 disc. They're all CLV.
Yeah.
Wow, they're all CLV. How long is this movie? 2 hours and 4 minutes? That doesn't seem like a...
Oh. They must just be really short sides.
That seems really weird.
It seems like such a waste.
Yeah, there's not even a dead side. I got excited.
It's 4 full sides?
Yeah.
Jeez. I almost want to watch that with you just to find out why. It's like every 10 minutes the side changes.
Oh, jeez. Well, it's like your Star Wars one.
Yeah, but that's CAV at least.
Yeah, at least.
And it's like full of like audio commentary and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
like it makes sense that it only has like 10 minutes per side.
Exactly. Well, that's that one. What you got over there?
I've got a little Steven Spielberg movie called Young Sherlock Holmes.
Not Young Indiana Jones.
No, because that was a TV show. This is a movie.
Ah.
So it's a Steven Spielberg joint written by Christopher Columbus. Yeah. Which
It's how old? No.
yeah. Which means you have a good movie to pair it with next. But yeah, so this is what would happen if Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson had met as school children. And but yeah, so again, never seen it, but like recently I was watching a video on YouTube about like the 10 changes or 10 like final scenes of a movie that like changed everything. And apparently, spoilers for a 30-year-old movie because this came out in 1986.
No.
Go for it. Just
wow.
but so if I believe he was talking about young Sherlock Holmes, the villain of the entire movie is through the whole movie has some like made up name, as in it's not an established character,
right.
From the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle books. But then the very last scene, it might even be like a post-credit scene, writes their name down on a ledger, and it's Moriarty. And you're like, oh, shit, the entire time Sherlock Holmes was going against Moriarty, not some silly, like, made-up villain. So apparently, like, it's pretty cool. So when I saw it, I was like, hey, it's only $2. Let's check it out. Again, it's CLV, 1 disc long, and full frame.
Sweet. You got me excited though when you said there's like a post-credit sequence to be like, I'm here to talk to you about the book club initiative.
I mean, they've been doing post-credit scenes for quite some time. Wayne's World has a post-credit scene. Super Mario Brothers has a post-credit scene.
I haven't seen either of those movies.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. 1, I haven't seen Wayne's World because I'm lazy. 2, I don't want to see. I mean, let's get drunk.
Mario Brothers gets a lot of flack for no reason. No, good reason.
There's
but
reasons.
I love Mario Brothers.
Well, then let's get drunk and watch Mario Brothers.
I'm okay with that.
All right, so to pair up with that, per your suggestion there, we got Home Alone.
Because it's directed by Christopher Columbus.
Oh, whoa. Wait,
possibly written by...
It says from John Hughes, though.
Who's John Hughes? John Hughes produced it?
Yeah, it's production. Christopher Columbus film, John Hughes production.
There
we go.
Boom.
I don't have... I didn't purchase Ferris Bueller's Day Off, unfortunately. I need to get that, though, because the cover's just him really smiley. Like, I like that cover.
Yeah.
But we have a Home Alone here. I have fond memories watching this growing up.
Yeah.
And
it's up there with some of my favorite Christmas movies.
Exactly. Right. But what's nice, maybe I should see if I can get maybe I should see if I could get
Macaulay Culkin.
I can't pronounce it right when I read it, but Macaulay Culkin, since he's on Robot Chicken staff, I should bring it to New York and be like, hey, you wanna sign this, buddy? Just hold it up like a poster, be like, hey, buddy.
I tried to do that at the Ash vs. the Evil Dead panel with my Evil Dead LaserDiscs, but I wasn't able to get. They cut off questions before I could get up there.
Well, no, everybody ran.
Yeah, and also I sat there like I was like, should I go? Should I go? Should I go?
I was telling you you could.
Yeah, and then I was like, fine, I'm going. And then you had no idea where I went, and I was like, really? You were the one that told me I should go.
You just would. Pew!
Yeah.
But I mean, I have fond memories of this, and this one actually is a special widescreen edition. Ooh, yeah. I mean, nothing else too fancy about this, really.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie widescreen.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I had it on VHS as a child.
Well, exactly. Like, in VHS would never really do that. Like, I think, I don't think I've seen Shrek in widescreen. I think I need to do that. I think I need to fix this.
I saw that in theaters.
Old person. I mean, granted.
You were old enough to see it in theaters.
I don't know why we didn't see it in theaters. Maybe that wasn't around the point where we were watching a lot of movies. Because I remember seeing a lot of movies like earlier than like Lion King.
Yeah.
Lion King was...
that's like 5 years earlier.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's just because my mom's like, this doesn't look appropriate.
I don't like that Michael Myers.
Well,
he kills kids.
Oh, I like that joke. That was a good joke.
Technically, I stole it from the trailer for Baby Driver, which looks great.
Oh, you know what I'm excited for?
Mm.
This is probably gonna. Well, no, this is gonna come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go try to see the. Why am I blanking on names tonight? I'm gonna go see Edgar Wright at Awesome Con.
Oh yeah, that's who directed Baby Driver,
and he's gonna show some exclusive scenes. So I will see them. I don't know what 2 weeks before the movie comes out.
Cool.
So
let me know how it is if you get there.
I'll let you know because I tried to get a ticket for a signing and they were like, no. But I want you to sign my fake Scott Pilgrim laser disc if I ever make one. I should make one. That'd be cool.
I never heard back from Kevin Smith if he got the fake laser discs we made. He did like the tweet that I sent out saying that I 2 weeks after I sent it, I was like, he still hasn't acknowledged it. I guess he hasn't seen him. Let me tweet just to be like, hey, there's something in your P.O. box. And he liked the tweet, so
there you go.
He knows they exist.
Well, now you just got to find him at a con and ask him about it, like I did for the creator of Regular Show.
Yeah,
he's
true.
Like, you're that butt face. So that's a pretty good movie. Oh wait, is it behind the scenes stuff? No, it's just a paragraph about it.
That's the wonderful thing about LaserDiscs. They have all that property, all that real estate on the back. They gotta fill it with something.
Exactly. Oh, or like text like soundtrack album available on CBS records, cassettes, and compact disc. Wow, they had all three.
Yeah.
When did this come out?
Well, LaserDiscs are the same. It came out in '90. LaserDiscs are the same thing as compact discs. Compact discs came out first.
That's true. Well, that's true. Yeah, I never seen all three of them.
Wait, what was it? It was 90. Cassette. No, cassette, CD,
cassette,
and what?
CD and record.
Oh, record.
Yeah,
that is surprising. Okay.
Vinyl.
Yeah. What's that?
I haven't collected those before.
Yeah. So, no good segue.
No good segue deserves a movie.
Macaulay Culkin was a boy in that movie, and this movie is The Last Boy Scout. So this is the action movie starring Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans, The Last Boy Scout. The goal is to survive. Again, never seen this movie, don't know it, but it was a staple of Blockbuster back in the day. Like every time as a child, when I went to Blockbuster, which is a physical Netflix store.
For those that didn't grow up.
I mean, since you keep reminding me of how old I am because I saw Shrek in theaters. Why is that the rubric? But yeah, so I mean, I guess I could have rented Shrek at Blockbuster. We could have rented Shrek 2 at Blockbuster. Anyway, but yeah, so I always saw this cover and it always looked interesting. And like at this time, I had seen like the Die Hard movies, and I was like, I fucking love Bruce Willis, but I never got around to watching this movie. So now I have it on Laserdisc. Now I have to watch it. It's widescreen. CLV, but it's I did discover by reading the back that it's a Tony Scott film. Oh, I like that guy as a director. He's a good action director. I'm blanking on anything else that he's directed right now, but yeah, so he exists. He's a director, and then a screenplay by Shane Black, who is the guy that did the Lethal Weapon movies, and I love me some Lethal Weapon. So it is sure to be full of action and a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of fun.
Oh, well, speaking of action and comedy,
I
have here in my hands.
Look at these segues I keep just underhanding to you. You give me nothing.
I'll try better next time.
Yeah.
But let's see here. So what I've got here is a Clint Eastwood, Burt Reynolds movie. And that kind of caught my eye because, like, I haven't seen a whole lot of their movies, but I know they're big. They're big names. And I have City Heat here, which I've never heard of, but
neither have I.
It got me. It had a tagline of a 30s action comedy starring an 80s action team, and I was like, all right, let's give this a shot because like that just seems like a great time. But don't know too much about it. I mean, they've got some cool. There looks like the car's on fire, and Clint Eastwood is looking a little angry there with his hat and gun, man. Extended play in this format. Let's see. Don't store in a hot place. Well,
yeah. Keep in a cool, dry place.
It's sat in my car for a little bit.
Yeah. Now it's gonna be melted.
it pours out. Oh no, melted the liquid. Oh jeez. But yeah, no, nothing too much else. Directed by Richard Benjamin. My favorite year, Racing the Moon. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. What do you don't? I'm sorry, folks. I'm just not getting close to the microphone.
Well, you have to point your voice at the microphone, not away.
Are you saying that my voice isn't omnidirectional?
The microphone isn't.
Oh. Fine. Why don't you take it away with your, what is it, Wellington, Wellville, Road to El Dorado?
Yes. The speaking of 80s teams, or what was it?
80s comedy in the 30s.
Yeah, whatever. So, this is The Road to Wellville.
It's a movie.
It is a movie. It was committed to celluloid. That's what they make film out of.
No.
Yes. Learning.
We're getting a little goofy here.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm totally serious. But so this stars Anthony Hopkins, Bridget Fonda, Matthew Broderick, John Cusack, and Dana Carvey. Like I said, it's The Road to Wellville. Don't know much about this, but I've seen the cover and I've seen the title, and it was only a couple bucks, and I was like, let me check it out. Read the back, skimmed through the back cover, and it's Anthony Hopkins plays this doctor who's in charge of a mental institution, and all the other players play like patients or whatever, and just like there's just hilarity ensues in the way that Anthony Hopkins' character like treats them and stuff like that. So I'm very interested. It's got a very Hudsucker Proxy look to it.
Yeah, like that cover like is pretty interesting. And like,
yeah,
are they in? Is that cornflakes?
Yes, it is cornflakes.
Cornflakes of all the actors. There's this Colonel Sanders looking guy.
That's Anthony Hopkins.
Okay, well he looks like Colonel Sanders.
I agree.
And then just everybody walking behind him. Man,
yeah,
it
kind of reminds me of a Terry Gilliam movie, the guy that did Brazil. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to chickadee check that out. Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken.
You have a drumstick and your brain starts ticking. Watch X-Files with no lights on. I don't know the rest.
Hope the Smoking Man's in this one.
You should do that at karaoke night.
No, it goes too fast.
Well, no segue at all. But we've got here. My next up is Robin Hood and Marion, and the main reason I picked this up is that I like Sean Connery. He's a beautiful man. He has a wonderful beard, and he happens to be starring in this movie.
If you want to see a LaserDisc with Sean Connery as a beautiful man, you should check out Zardos. I got a copy right there in the hallway.
Ooh, baby. That and his wonderful visage is on The Hunt for Red October. That's a good-looking silhouette there. But I really picked this up just because, like, it looked like an old classic movie. Audrey Hepburn's in it, and the RTX guy that ran it, he gave a couple compliments her way. I'm like, oh, man, she's popular with the older generation. Yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, they're just I'm assuming it's Robin Hood. Everybody looks like a faithful adaptation on the back. Got a little playbill on the back there. Audrey Hepburn's back and Sean Connery's got her. It's a fun little thing. Let me see. Anything special about this guy? What do we got here? Love is the greatest adventure of all. Sentimental, quite wonderful movie, says Time. Man, I mean, you talk so much about this movie, but like, I don't really. I guess they talk about it more in like the little blurbs here, but yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary. PG color. Doesn't say extended or not, but I'm assuming it is because like this is a 1-disc and it's still sealed, which is kind of nice.
Ooh,
cover's in great shape. Definitely in great shape. Just Columbia Classics, kind of standard. I mean, can't go wrong for $4.
Yeah,
could spend that on a pretzel. I'll spend it on a cinematic adventure. What you got over there with that beautiful looking backsides?
Well, just in time for Pride Month, which is this month, I picked up The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which is an Australian film from the early 90s. Anyone who's seen To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newhart, or Julie Newmar, something like that, that is the American adaptation of this film. And it's a wonderful film. This is one that I have actually seen. It stars surprisingly enough, three big butch men from film. Terrence Stamp, also known as Zod from the Christopher Reeve the Superman movies. Hugo Weaving, Agent Smith from the Matrix movies, and Guy Pearce, who is he's the man that has no short-term or long-term memory from Memento. He's I think he's the Count of Monte Cristo from the Count of Monte Cristo that came out in the early 2000s.
The titular Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
I just want to say it again.
Yeah. And he's been in a whole bunch of other things too. But yeah, so the three of them play three drag queens who have to go on a road trip across the Australian desert, which is like, a week's drive because it's so big.
Ouch. A week.
Yeah, and hilarity ensues and lots of ABBA on the soundtrack.
Oh.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. In the American adaptation, it's Wesley Snipes, Roadhouse.
I haven't seen Roadhouse, unfortunately.
God damn it, Ghost.
You're like looking at me like Ghost. Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze.
Hey, I'm useful.
And John Leguizamo play the three drag queens.
Oh.
And they have to go on a road trip across America.
So it's just a same script.
I don't know about the same script, but it's basically the exact same story.
Okay, because I know they sometimes do that. Like they've adapted one of my favorite series, Broadchurch, into I've honestly blanked out on the American adaptation just because it wasn't that great. But they even borrowed David Tennant as the lead actor just because you were so good, we need you here. Just fake an American accent. We'll call it a day.
Yeah, they and countries do that constantly back and forth. It's not just America that does it.
No, that's true. We do it a lot, though. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm running out of movies here. I got 2 left, and you got a lot more.
I got 3 left.
Wow. All right. Oh, there's multiple discs.
Yeah.
There's multiple discs there. Well, hey, we've got here, what's my pick? But my girlfriend Maddie wanted to have it.
Humble brag.
You can't see it on the radio. The podcast, but I'm giving Chris a scowl of contempt.
Content.
Contempt. Content. No.
No. Contempt.
Contempt. Did you know English was my first language? Hey, look, it's a Hugh Grant film. It's great. Mike Newell film, 4 weddings and a funeral. Look at him. He's got that pretty face, pretty cheeks, pretty chin, white teeth. Audrey McDowell co-stars with him. He's quite engaging. She's otherwise engaged. Man, what a movie. Look at the back. It's purple. Got a sheep there. Is that Mr. Bean?
Is it?
Is
Rowan Atkinson?
Is that him?
I think. Yeah, it is. That's Rowan Atkinson.
It's Mr. Bean. Oh, my goodness. What
the bad guy from the Scooby-Doo movie.
No.
Yeah.
The first live-action one?
Spoilers. Yeah.
Wait, wasn't it? Isn't the end reveal it's that other guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Scrappy-Doo.
Yeah, let's just spoil it anyway. Who cares about the Scooby-Doo live-action movie?
I do. It's a really good movie.
Well, I like the first, cartoon movie that they did, the Zombie Island one. That was really good.
It's not nearly the first cartoon movie, but yes.
Well, the new Scooby movie that they did. It was good. It looked like the Blair Witch Project, or at least their advertisements made it look like that. But yeah, wow, rated R, Hugh Grant. Ooh, what happens? The romantic comedy you will fall in love with, one of the year's best films. Well, they must have sex or something. Oh man. But yeah, it looks pretty fun. Hugh Grant, everybody loves Hugh Grant. He's a charming fellow. Extended play, all right. CLV Deluxe Widescreen Edition. Seems like a good time. Well, I always love a Hugh Grant romantic comedy. I mean, y'all know that my favorite is based on what we were talking about over for Valentine's Day. I was talking about music and lyrics, probably one of my favorite love comedies. But yeah, should be fun. Well, speaking of pretty people, what do you got over there, buddy?
Whoa, there we go. There's a segue. I got a movie starring Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt.
So pretty.
They are very pretty. So pretty that they kill.
If looks could kill.
Yeah. This is Interview with the Vampire. We've talked about this before because you have a copy of it. Yeah, it's a pretty movie. It's got a bifold. It's got pretty stills of pretty people in the thing.
You know, I think I actually did buy it at RTX, so somebody must not want that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I was looking over it and I like opened it up and I was like, oh, we've talked about this movie before. But I was like, now I have a copy. Yeah. So hoorah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bifold. You had 2 discs. I mean,
yeah.
Is it CAV?
It's the first 2 sides are CLV and the third side is CAV.
Now I remember. All right.
Widescreen throughout, though.
Nice. Well, all right. I mean, not. I don't think there's any way to relate this. I really don't think so. Hey, so I got another Michael J. Fox movie. That's Woody Harrelson. Oh my goodness, he's the bad dude in here, the bully. Yeah. That's wonderful. Woody Harrelson, good guy. Mary Poppins, y'all.
That's
not him?
No, that's Michael Rooker.
They look the same. Next up on Ken's a horrible person with no memory.
Next up on Ken has no facial permanence.
I used to pride that would be the only way I could recognize a person. I'd forget your name, but I know your face. Anyways, Doc Hollywood, what a movie. Michael J. Fox. My mom bought this for me when I was a kid because it had Michael J. Fox. But little did she realize there's full frontal female nudity. So my 13-year-old brain exploded. It was a wonderful scene. And I still remember, I don't think there's really a whole lot good about this movie. It's just Michael J. Fox being charming. He's a big city surgeon, I don't know why he has to move, but he has to go and live in this, like, you know, in the middle of the woods kind of town, just a small town, and lives there, learns to love it, gets to go back to the big city, but then comes on back, and it's pretty great.
If I remember, because I around the same time, my mom did the same thing. She didn't buy it, but she rented it from Blockbuster for me. I want to say, like, he has to go back because a relative dies and he has to go for, like, the funeral, something like he inherit, like, or maybe he, like, loses his house or something like that in Hollywood and has to, like, return back to his roots or something like that.
Yeah. All it says on the back is cruise with the medical fast lane hits a small town detour. So maybe, like, because car breaks down? Or
you know what? I do remember there being a underwhelming car crash at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah. And I guess he comes back. Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah. Nudity, Michael J. Fox. Watch it.
Who could ask for anything more?
Woody Harrelson. You got more.
Yeah, Mary Poppins.
You're never going to let me live that down.
I'll probably forget.
Hey, look at those red eyes. They're great. In the lips.
So this is a movie that I had actually never even heard of before walking into RTX the other day, whenever I went there. This is a movie called Innocent Blood. It's got a pretty cool cover. And what drew my eye, though, not the pale girl with the ruby red lips and eyes or the dead man in a bowl of pasta, but on the side it says, from the director of American Werewolf in London, which is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So I was like, oh, let me check this out. And so I'm looking at it. It's a vampire movie set in Pittsburgh, where a vampire accidentally attacks the like a mafia don. Okay. And for whatever reason is not able to finish isn't able to kill him, so presumably he, like, starts turning into a vampire, and hilarity ensues because as I alluded to earlier, this is a John Landis film, which means it's got to be a little bit of horror, a little bit of comedy. Based on the back here, sounds like it's leans more towards the comedy than the horror, because it's got Don Rickles in it.
Oh, you see those, like, blurbs?
Yeah, oh yeah. Funny, delicious, exhilarating. A bloodbath of comedy. Thrills, chills, laughs. Yeah. So funness happens. This is something new. It normally when they're in widescreen it says that it's, like, letterboxed. Mm-hmm. This one says that it's in matted widescreen format.
That just seems like matted pictures. Like, what? I don't.
I'm sure it means the exact same thing as letterboxed, but for whatever reason they were like, matted.
We're sophisticated.
Yeah. So I can't wait to watch this because, like I said, American Werewolf in London, one of my favorite horror movies. And speaking of American Werewolf in London, I bought American Werewolf in London.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, this is one of my favorite horror movies ever made. Partially because of how funny it is, but it's like very subtle humor. And watching this is actually why Michael Jackson hired John Landis to direct the Thriller music video, and why there is a werewolf transformation scene at the beginning of that music video. Yeah, and it's speaking of the werewolf transformation, American Werewolf in London is lauded as one of the greatest werewolf transformation scenes in cinema. The Howling is up there with it, but as Jake pointed out the other day, the Howling's transformation scene kind of drags. It's a little slow. And, I mean, if your taste is like, I want to see every second of it, then the Howling is probably where it's at for you. But, like, for someone else, it's like, let's get back to the werewolf killing people. Like, maybe American Werewolf in London. And also, Howling is just straight horror. Right. Whereas, like I said a couple times already now, American Werewolf in London, a little bit of comedy sprinkled in there, too.
That's good, though, that, like, because I was actually talking about the other day how there needs to be more comedy that's, like, not in your face about it, like, not just people talking.
So, I am so tired of, like, contemporary comedy movies because they're all just, like,
let's focus on this person talking.
It's
and then this person
it's overly dependent on the actor's improvisational skills, and like while improv is great when you're on a movie because then you can like change a line here and there, like once you get into the character you can make it really flow.
Right. But
if it's just like straight up like, hey, Will Ferrell, we're just gonna lock the camera on you and you do this scene 50 times and whatever random line of dialogue we like the best, that'll be the scene that we do. Sure thing, Judd Apatow. Yeah, take that, Judd Apatow and Paul Feig. I think Feig, the guy that did the Ghostbusters movie, the guy that does all the Kristen Wiig movies that I can't stand, because they're all that same. Like, oh, we're just gonna cut back and forth between actors. Because there's no written dialogue for this movie at all.
That's why I really appreciate Bob's Burgers.
Yeah,
just because you put actors together, and then they riff off each other.
Yeah, and then you can animate around it.
Yeah,
to make it visually interesting. Exactly. That's what I love about Edgar Wright. Were you the one that showed me the video? If not, you need to check it out. But it's basically this guy on YouTube has like a love letter to Edgar Wright.
Every frame of painting, I think. If not, I'm linking you to it because he's talked about him there too.
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just like talking about how great of a visual. Oh, maybe it is Every Frame of Painting. Anyway, like he basically talks about the difference between Edgar Wright and like the Paul Feigs and
exactly
and
Edgar Wright. Like he'll put things into the scene, like objects come in, objects come out.
Yeah.
Like you can get a joke visually.
Yeah.
At the same time.
It's the same video.
Yeah. You can get a joke visually at the same time, like you're telling a joke. Like there's so many ways you can do a joke.
And take a scene like in Hot Fuzz where like he's going from London to Podunk wherever. Like, yeah, sure, you could get a second unit in there and just have like a helicopter shot of a train driving by, and that'll get the message across that he's going somewhere. But why not take that opportunity to set up humor and stuff like that? And it like shows like the scene of him taking the train, and it's
the
beautiful.
The train horn waking him up, his phone losing signal gradually, the rain, the multiple taxis. Honestly, I tried to make my own edit like him, like after I saw Hot Fuzz, like of me putting photos away at Target, and it was horrible. But
I did when I made my 30-minute zombie movie, there's a scene that I literally did that whole like montage type thing. I pulled it from Shaun of the Dead because I was making my own version of Shaun of the Dead, basically.
Complete with Queen?
No. I actually used all local music.
Oh,
yeah. Zombie Night Theater. It's on YouTube if you want to check it out. It's actually the 10-year anniversary of when I filmed it too.
Oh.
Yeah, I would have been back in like spring break was when production started. But yeah, 10 years ago this year was when I filmed Zombie Night Theater.
Maybe I can get Edgar Wright to watch it.
Oh. Anyway.
Well, anyway, I will, if y'all are listening and y'all want to check me out, I will be at AwesomeCon dressed up more than likely as various versions of Spider-Man.
Wow.
I have so many Spider-Man costumes.
So many Spider-Mans.
So I'll be there.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know if there's anybody there that could bring a LaserDisc, because I've already met Jason David Frank. Yeah, I got that signature.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other Power Rangers.
I haven't looked at the guest list too much because I don't get to go to AwesomeCon.
That's sad.
So, yeah, well, I have a wedding to go to.
It's a nice day.
Yeah.
For a white wedding.
But I would much rather be at AwesomeCon. As much as I love Nicole, she's one of my best friends, but I would much rather be here in my hometown at one of my favorite conventions of the year than driving all the way to upstate New York to hang out with 3 people that I know in a giant wedding where all 3 of them are going to be busy because 2 of them are the ones getting married and one of them is one of the bridesmaids. So, yeah. Yeah.
Make friends.
Ugh. All right. So on that down note,
let's just go off for the day.
Yeah.
See you, everybody. Da 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 da. LaserDicks. Now I'm sad.
This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a new commentary every Monday. We've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.